Welcome, everybody, to Wrestling with the Week, an awesome bomb that takes the best of the last 7 days and drops it right on its head. I'm your host, James Willems, joined, as always, by the face of the revolution, Scorpio Sky.
James, I got a question. I got a statement for you.
Yeah, what's up?
What a week.
I guess I had never thought about how that is a statement before, but you're right. Yeah, you don't need a question mark at the end. You're just telling me that it was what a week it was. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know why I said question, actually.
Yeah.
I think in that moment, I realized, this isn't a question. This is
It's not a
statement.
question.
Yeah.
And especially when you think about what we're talking about on this week's show, there is no question that this is going to be a great episode. We're going to be talking about what's to come on Dynamite. We're going to make some Dynamite predictions because, as you know, Dynamite's been airing on Friday, a little bit past, so we want to make sure that we are squeaky clean and shiny and new when we got the new Dynamite coming up on Friday night. We also have, of course, What It Do, Baby. We're going to talk about a lot of cool stuff that happened in the last 7 days, some things that we've been touching on leading up to this that we're going to get our reactions to. We also had Brad Williams on the show, an amazing stand-up comedian, a great actor, and a huge wrestling fan to chat with us about all kinds of stuff. And last but not least, we are premiering yet another new game. I'm really excited about it. So the show is packed. Sky, let's check in with you. How are you doing?
Man, I am good. A little shot of Eric there. That's good. I love it.
Eric's always watching. He's always in the wings. He's always in the wings watching.
I love it. Anyways, I'm good. I've got my Nespresso coffee, which means I am home. Much needed. I was on the road for 2 or 3 weeks, so it's good to finally get home and relax a little bit, play some 2K. And, some big things going on Dynamite with us, as you've been following, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have been following. I was going to ask, so what's kind of the situation here? You obviously things aren't done with Darby, right?
No. Well, all we want is Darby to stand on his own 2 feet. Like, stop letting, Sting do all the heavy lifting for him, And so we're just giving him an opportunity to find somebody else. And step up to the plate, man, and let's prove yourself. Prove yourself. If you're really the man, if you were the face of TNT for all that time, prove it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Prove it.
I think that's really, I think, brave of both of you, because like there's situations where you could just completely write him off. You just not even give him another opportunity or anything like that. You just write him off, move on to bigger, better things. It feels like this is really you like saying like, listen, you don't have to stand in the shadow of this legend. You can step out, and we're going to give you an opportunity to show that with someone else, right? So I'm really excited to see who he picks, and I mean, knowing him, it'll probably be some other legend who's storied. Yeah, what's up, Sky?
Yeah, I'm the only thing I want to say is this, and because people might not understand, is what we're giving him an opportunity. Steve Kerr has NBA championships, but his are not equal to Michael Jordan. There's carrying the team like Sting, and there's going along for the ride and maybe hitting a good shot here and there like Steve Kerr or Darby. So now we're just saying, go off on your own, man.
Yeah.
Win your championship, without being a role player on the team. We want to see, Darby, if you can be a headliner on the team. So that's the opportunity we're giving him. Actually, I think we're doing him a favor. He's only going to up his stock. Just find yourself a new partner.
I would agree. And I think that's, again, very big of you. And it's because you're obviously the face of the revolution. And so like to have an opportunity against you is already a thing. And so an opportunity to step out of that shadow, it's huge. It's huge. And I'm excited to see who he picks because, just out of curiosity, I'm excited. Sometimes I'm excited to see who you're going to get to beat,
Yeah. It's always fun to see who we get to beat. We win a lot. And so I'm not too nervous about who he can choose. He can choose anybody, man. He can choose Jeff Farmer. Google it, see who that is. He can choose, Glacier. There's a lot of Glacier might be kind of cool. You know,
hold on.
what?
Listen, if we're trying to get him out to step out of the shadow of legends, and you're asking him to bring on Glacier, that's
fair.
fair.
You're right. We want him to do the work himself. So I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to tune into Dynamite tomorrow, and hopefully he'll reveal who his partner is going to be. And I mean, it's not going to matter anyway. They're going to get beat up. Which, what I call it, an ass kicking match a couple months ago. It's going to be another ass kicking.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we're just going to have to make it a themed match now at this point. Speaking of Dynamite coming up tomorrow, Eric, you want to come on here and we want to, because we're not going to hot tag last week's Dynamite, but I think we can hot tag some of our predictions for what's to come on this week's Dynamite. Because this podcast is living on the edge, and it wouldn't be on the edge if we were talking about last week. So we're going to talk about next week.
Let's get hot tag. See, that's all you have to do. You just have to call for it. You have to be sure.
You just have to say the thing loud. Got it.
Here's the thing. When people ask me what this podcast is, I'm going to say we're the podcast that likens Darby Allin to Steve Kerr. And if you think that is on the money,
where are you going, ma'am?
This is the show for you.
Sir, this is a bank.
We also give the big shouts out to Glacier. That's cool. I think you should get Ernest the Cat Miller, but that's just me. Anyway, guys.
Somebody out there, please take a picture of Steve Kerr and put the Darby Allin paint on it.
That's awesome.
Please do that and tweet us. Please do it.
Oh my God.
Please.
Oh, that's so cool. And then he just played the guitar. I want Steve Kerr to come out to Darby Allin's theme music. Kerr.
We don't have to say this, but do we know if Alex Wright is signed?
Did you see the picture? Guys, I know we have to talk about Dynamite. Alex Wright, shouts out, Alex Wright, posted a picture of him working out today. He's 295 pounds.
Today? He posted a picture of him working out today, and I just happened to pull his name out of the back of my brain.
Guy is gigantic.
Okay, I must see this.
I must see it too.
Looking huge.
Because he never stopped dancing.
Yeah.
Okay, you get focused. After we're done with hot tag, immediately hop off this go dig up that photo, and then we'll bring it back later on in the show.
Okay, all right, we'll find this Alex Wright pic, dude. This Alex, all about it. We got to get Alex Wright. All right, guys, we got to talk about Dynamite. What are we doing?
Okay.
First up, Christian Cage will face Angelico with Matt Hardy in his corner. Will Christian Cage ever shake Matt Hardy? Does Angelico have what it takes to defeat Christian Cage in the squared circle?
Let me tag in on this one. First off, I want to say I'm really excited for this match because I think Angelico is one of the most underrated guys we have in AEW. The guy is so technically sound. He does so many things that fly under the radar that a lot of people don't get, like, because he's not out there doing like really crazy, like insane highlight GIF type stuff, but he does things that are so like just technically sound and under the radar. He's a wrestler's wrestler, and I really, really enjoy seeing him. And obviously Christian Cage is one of the best wrestlers in the world still to this day. So I'm really, really excited for this match in general. And then you look at Christian Cage and Matt Hardy. These guys have been going at it for like 20 plus years. And it never gets old. You know, I mean, these guys are, will he ever shake him? I don't think so. This is always going to be a feud. Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas are always going to dislike each other. And the same could be said about Christian Cage and Matt Hardy. A lot of basketball references today.
I love it.
The game.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing I would add to that is that it feels like these two are planets that can't get out of their gravitational pull. They're always circling. Love it.
It's going to be a hell of a match. I'm excited. Angelico has a great style that you don't see a lot of people wrestle, and see if Christian Cage has what it takes to go toe-to-toe with him. Next up, Hangman cannot shake Team Taz. Can Hangman and 10, Preston Vance, from the Dark Order, take on the sheer strength and size of Powerhouse Hobbs and Brian Cage in a tag team matchup?
Let me tag in on this one. So, here's the thing. I love me some Team Taz. But Team Taz isn't exactly the winningest stable in AEW, okay? Got a lot of talent, but that talent tends to get stomped down by some other talent. I mean, for the last while, it feels like it has just been Hangman Page. And we obviously know that Hangman Page has his weird alliance with the Dark Order. So I think teaming up these two guys that have a lot of momentum, a lot of drive behind them versus Brian Cage, who just suffered what he probably considers a pretty humiliating loss, and Powerhouse Hobbs, who he comes this close. It feels like he's always coming this close. You see him walk out and you're like, that is a monster. And then something happens from the time the bell rings to the time the ref counts 3 and he loses. So I don't feel like this team, Hobbs and Cage, have it in them to take down the rocket ship that is Dark Order and Hangman Page combined.
Wow. Sky,
it sounds like you are saying that Team Taz is a regular season good team. They are the Portland Trailblazers.
Wow.
They're very exciting to watch. They're very interesting. Yeah. But when it gets into the playoffs, when it matters, they can't get the job done.
They're no Steve Kerr or something.
I'm going to try to make a basketball reference about everything we talk about.
This is wild. Oh, my God. All right. Moving on, guys, there's a big 6-man tag. The Young Bucks are grabbing Brandon Cutler. So he's got 2 contracts, and they'll be facing the trio of Eddie Kingston, Pac, and Penta El Cerro Miedo. Eddie has had a lot of issues with Pac and Penta in the past, but they're going to have to keep it together to take on the tag champs and Brandon Cutler. Do they have what it takes? Can they keep it together? Who's taking it home?
I've said it before. I'm going to tag in. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. The Young Bucks come up big in big situations. They are the best tag team I've ever seen in the wrestling business. That's not going to change, not yesterday, today, or tomorrow, or next week. And when the game is on the line and there's 3 seconds left on the clock, I want the ball in the Young Bucks' hands. I'm going Young Bucks all the way.
Wow. I like it. James?
I mean, I think that's a great cake. The only icing I would throw on top is that something about the Seattle Supersonics. No. Brandon Cutler is like the Seattle Supersonics. He wears mostly green. No. I do think there's something to consider with this match, though. Do I think that the Young Bucks will lose? No. But I also think that most of their wins have come with a little bit of assistance, not to diminish how much they put into these matches and how much they can dominate their opponents. They always find a way to get a little bit of assistance, and a lot of times that comes from maybe someone on the edge of the ring like a Brandon Cutler. So with him in the ring, that adds a new factor. And I do think they might have to be a little bit more concerned because we kind of talked about this with Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston. Jon Moxley alone, sure. But with Eddie Kingston, he's kind of got like, maybe there's something there to be a little concerned about. I think that, Brandon Cutler might lose. And then by default, the Young Bucks lose as well. Wow. So just these things to be concerned about, just these things to consider. I don't think this is the one, but something to consider.
Yeah. Thinking. I like what you're doing. I like what you're thinking. Yeah.
This is an exciting episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Steve Kerr impression.
Steve Kerr. And Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr with the Darby paint. Make it happen.
I can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome. Last thing before we got to move on, guys. We have a whole show we have to get to.
Right.
Miro is defending his TNT title against the Dark Order's Evil Uno. Personally, I think Evil Uno is an absolutely underrated wrestler, absolutely innovative, and he's finally getting a shot at this TNT championship. But will he be able to stop Miro's path of destruction and take the title off that Bulgarian beast? What do you think?
I'm going to let me tag in on this one real quick because I just think Miro is on a rampage. Mm-hmm. And he's been on a rampage since before he got the title. It's one of those things where he said, this is what I'm going to do. And he did it. And sometimes you'll see other people do it. Like the New York Knicks, they'll win, but then they'll, I don't know, maybe not care as much the next season. I don't know. But Miro has taken the title and continued to rampage as though he hasn't even gotten it yet. He's gone through so many amazing opponents, and I don't see him stopping right now. I agree with you. I think Evil Uno is great and has a lot of momentum, but I think he may put up a fight, but I don't see anyone. I can't imagine anyone taking down the New York Knicks. I mean, Miro.
Couldn't agree with you more. It's a game of runs, and Miro's takeover meter is on. So I don't see this going very well for Evil Uno. I think Uno is going to go down for the Uno, Dos, and Tres.
Wow. We're a multilingual podcast. I like this a lot. Well, guys,
multilingual. Yep.
Guys,
crossing over.
That's Dynamite. Remember, it's on Friday this week. I'm excited. I like the Friday Night Dynamite. It's getting us ready for Rampage. It's going to be a good one. James, just before we go, can you name one player on the New York Knicks?
Patrick Ewing.
I knew you were going to say that. And I'll leave you guys to the next segment. I knew Patrick Ewing was your answer.
You didn't say when. Sky, you want to take us over into the next segment?
I sure do. I got a question for you.
Yeah, I can answer it. Is the answer Patrick Ewing?
No, it isn't. But
All
the
right, what's the
question is, what it do, baby?
Wow, you like ran away from the microphone, came back again, flew out, flew back.
Man, lot going on. James, I heard that you got back in the ring. Is this true?
Yes. I am back in the ring. It's they were filming a live new episode of Dark Side of the Ring, and it's about me. and it focuses, most of the drama focuses on how my neck feels after practicing in the ring for the first time in a while. No, yeah, I have it's something I've always wanted to do, and I've wrestled one professional wrestling match against two really great wrestlers who did me a lot of favors in that match. But it's something that I always wanted to keep pursuing. I did for a little bit, and then it just was impossible to fit into my schedule. The travel to the school was too far. But I recently became aware of it was described to me as the equivalent of a bunch of old guys playing pickup basketball, only with professional wrestling.
I love that.
Not too far from me, and so I was like, yeah, I can do this, and so now I'm going to make it a regular thing. I'm getting back in the ring. I'm training again, and maybe I'm not going to say it, but maybe I'm Darby's partner. Maybe.
No.
No.
Okay. I don't like it. I love that reference though. I love the old guys playing basketball reference because up until last year, because of this year, because of COVID, every single New Year's Day for like the last 6 or 7 years, a lot of my wrestling buddies, we get together and we play a basketball game, and we call it the SoCal All-Star Game, New Year's Day SoCal All-Star Game. We all get together, and a lot of the guys are like me, where they're so busy they only have time to play once a year.
Yeah,
and so like it's always. I said, like, we're going to do this forever. We're going to do this 10 years from now. We're going to be showing up. We're going to be like, oh, okay, like breaking out the Bengay and wrapping up our knees and our ankles and like, but like we're already kind of there. We all get hurt, but I can definitely feel that reference, like the old guys playing basketball.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fun there.
And I don't mess around. Like I've done it enough to know where I'm. So I was like knee pads on, like elbow pad on, and then I have ankle. I have ankle straps because I'm like, if something's gonna go, it's gonna be my old ankles. So like I'm shoving this big old boot into a shoe so that way I can get everything fit in there. I was like, I'm not playing with this because even if it's just really simple, doing some rolls, doing some moves, wrestling around, I was like, so I'm gonna step off the apron and just completely break my ankle. So like I know my limits. I am already one of those old guys on the basketball court who's like headband, wrist guards. He's got his back strap from Lowe's on or whatever, so like, yeah, I'm ready.
I love that. Man, protect yourself. It's a dangerous business. I want to pivot a little bit and actually give a shout out to Matt Dillon and Arian Andrew. I was on their podcast the Sipping the Tea podcast. We actually recorded it a week or so ago, and it was
Mm-hmm.
a lot of fun. They are hilarious. They're
Mm-hmm.
two absolute characters. They were really really fun to talk to, and so just wanted to again give a shout out to them and tell everyone to go out and check it out. We had a great conversation. Moving on from that, did you check out Mayweather Logan Paul?
I mean, I didn't pay for it, but I did. I did search the hashtag on Twitter during the course of the fight, so I followed it. I followed it the freeway.
Yeah, that's probably the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
They made some money. They made their
Yeah,
money.
they made
I
their
think
money.
a lot of people were expecting something. We talked about it. We talked about the rules.
Mm-hmm.
No official or no judges, no decision at the end. So the only way you can win by knockout,
Mm-hmm.
only way you can win is by knockout. And I don't know if people thought Mayweather was going to knock him out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. For one, it was kind of a lose-lose situation
Mm-hmm.
because it's like if he knocks him out, they're gonna, oh, you knocked out a guy with one fight, and if he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
knock him out, then it's like, oh, well, you couldn't knock out a guy with one fight. But I think there was no upside to knocking him out. He this way Logan Paul leaves with a little bit of with his head held high, and then the sheer physical part of it, like he's too big.
Mm-hmm.
Mayweather is not really a knockout guy anymore. He was when he was young. He had good hands and he knocked guys out pretty
Mm-hmm.
frequently. But uh, post 30, Mayweather has a lot of hand problems, and so he doesn't knock out guys in his division. But so he's not going to knock out a guy that weighs 30 pounds more than he does and is 5 inches taller than he does. It doesn't even matter if that guy has no boxing or if he has a little bit of boxing experience. It's
Mm-hmm.
just not going to happen. But it
Yeah.
was fun. Like I watched highlights. I saw I saw a couple rounds. They had it on backstage, and I saw a couple rounds, and it was interesting. But they made a lot of money, man. So
Yeah.
more power to them.
Let me ask you, because shortly after the fight ended, there was a clip going around that was like, oh, Mayweather actually did he hit him and knocked him out, and you can see Logan Paul kind of like fall into a clinch. He's like, but he held him up. That was a clip that was going around trying to make the accusation that it was even more staged, or that Mayweather did knock him out and had to like protect him.
Yeah.
What is your reaction to that?
If Floyd was going to knock him out, he would have let him get knocked out. Like
Mm-hmm.
he would have liked to knock him out. I think.
Yeah.
I think what it was what's his name? Logan Paul was doing a lot of clinching in the
Mm-hmm.
fight,
Yeah.
which is what happens. You get hit with clean, good. I mean, he got hit with some good, clean shots, and your instinct is to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't think that Mayweather like was holding him up or anything like that. I think if he could have got him out of there, he probably would have.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an exhibition,
Yeah.
it's not a 12-round heavyweight or whatever fight, it was an exhibition, so.
Well, I think a big thing that also people forget, because going into this, it's like he's going to fight Floyd. Finally, Logan Paul's going to get punched and knocked out the way we want to see him. It's like, I don't think you realize that these are two willing participants trying to make as much money as possible off of the sport of boxing. Like, not to say that they aren't doing the sport of boxing justice, but that's not what this is. This isn't Rocky fighting Apollo Creed for everything because he has nothing. These are two people who have everything, who want more. And they decided the best way to do that was to not invest in Dogecoin and instead get paid 20 or $50 million. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't, I think Logan made 20, Floyd made 50 or something like that.
I think he made like 70. Yeah.
Well, whatever, off of like whatever, a one night. Like, imagine if you could make that off of just getting into the ring and kind of doing what you do anyway, but with less urgency than ever before.
And here's the business side of it. Don't be surprised if in the next year there's talk of a Mayweather Jake Paul fight, because Jake Paul is the more known fighter of the two, because he's got more fights and he's got knockouts, and I think people can, Floyd's smart. And I think he can get the public to say like, oh, well, Mayweather couldn't knock Logan Paul out, and Logan Paul only has one fight. Jake Paul has 3 fights and 3 knockouts. So maybe Jake Paul can catch Mayweather. Like his whole career has been built on like, oh, maybe this guy can catch him. Maybe this guy can do it. Maybe Pacquiao can do it. Maybe Maidana can do it. Maybe, and then, so don't be surprised if we may see at some point a Jake Paul Floyd Mayweather fight, and everyone lays it. Here you go. Here's our, excuse me, I'm shaking. here's our $70. I will pay for this, and then they leave going, God, it got us again.
I was gonna say before you swipe that credit card, I don't know. Do people swipe their credit cards into TV? Is that how pay-per-view works? Before you do that with your credit card, understand that the goal of the fight is for you to buy it and for it to be a piece of entertainment, not for it to be a fight. There's a ton of boxing matches that happen all over the year that are actual fights if you want to see actual fights. And so if that's what you want, go support those. But yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's covered a lot of stuff. Well, not a lot of stuff, but we dug into those things. We had some other things to talk about, but we can get to those another time. They're not that important.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants to talk about how fresh I look in this Adidas top.
Noticed.
I mean, everyone wants to talk about it, but we don't need to get into that and what it do, baby. We got interviews, we've got games, we got stuff to get to. James, take us over.
You're right. It's time for the run-in with Brad Williams. You just say it. I am super excited for our guest this week. He is a stand-up comedian, an actor, and a huge wrestling fan. Brad Williams, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, I'm so excited that anyone described anything that I do as huge. That doesn't really happen a lot, so I'm cool with it. So I'm really thrilled to be here. This is one of my favorite pods to listen to and watch. So I'll try not to fanboy out too much. Of course, I'm talking about you, not you, Sky. Who cares? Come for
James.
Come for James. Yeah, I'm excited to be on the show. Excited to talk wrestling and just whatever else is going to go on.
Well, we're excited to have you, man. I know, like, you were at Double or Nothing. At one point, I fell out of the ring and I looked over and I'm like, "Is that Brad?" So, it was good to see you had some good seats too. Right?
I was wondering if that was going to happen because I know you guys are obviously focused on what you're doing in the ring, but it's got to pull your focus a little bit when you're doing a move. You flip to the outside and then you just go and you do a double take. Like, wait, is that a dwarf ringside? And then, like, you have to pause because some of you guys, like, I know some of you guys, so you have to do that. You have to do that math of, like, wait, is that Brad? Is that Swoggle? Is there a different person coming in? Is there going to be a run-in? Wait, is that Wee Man? Is Dinklage here? Did I get hit by a chair too hard? Like, and so you probably have that moment, not just with me, but I'm sure that happens throughout shows where, especially now that we're having fans back, that you kind of have that moment of you look out in the audience, whether it be like, oh, hey, that chick's kind of cute, or like you see some sort of thing like that.
Well, like I would think back to, I believe it was like the first Jericho cruise when I met you, and I think we were hanging in the green room or whatever, and we just got to talking, and here's where I learned to watch what you say around comedians. Because I
already know where this is going.
Yeah, like, I mentioned something about, like, I mean, if I fall off this boat, I'm done. Like, I was like, I can swim, but I don't know if I can swim that well. And the next night, me, Frankie, and Chris, and I'm just talking about all kinds of stuff or whatever, throughout the conversation, just being animated. And the next night, Frankie, Chris, and we go to Brad's show on the cruise. And at one point during his show, he's just bringing up everything that we talked about. And he's like, he can flip off the top rope, but he can't swim. And I'm just like, like, I was dying. And it's one of those moments where, there's a lot, they're all wrestling fans. So they know exactly who he's talking about. And they're all looking over at you and, like, you can't swim. Like, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, you got to watch what you say around these guys.
Yeah, I believe the line was like, you can do a springboard somersault DDT, but this maneuver is a little too much for you. Just doing that, it's too much. The back penalty. And it's not that I'm ever that guy that, like, I'm trying to. I'm not trying to do that. It's just like some things just click in my brain and they work. And especially being on a cruise where I'm doing multiple shows and people came to the first show and then came to the second show and they're like, it's going to be different, right? And it's like, No, I didn't write a new hour in the last in the last 24 hours. So anything I could grab onto that I could talk about, and especially being on a cruise where you have so many shared experiences, anything that I can do to make the show fresh and to make the show new, I would do. And I just found that really funny.
You know, one of the things that I'm curious about is throughout the year in 2020, obviously, you know, there's the pandemic, there are people getting really sick, there are people dying, you know, all of the social injustice and just horrible things happening in the world. Like, how did that affect your creativity? And like, how, like, and not only that, but the reactions from the people watching or listening to your comedy. Like, is it harder to get laughs, or do people need those laughs and it's a little easier?
So that I'll divide that into two worlds to answer that question. On stage, with a live audience, I felt like those people, and especially the ones that were out in 2020, those people craved like the exact opposite of what was going on. Like, they craved the stuff that you weren't supposed to talk about. They craved the edgy jokes. They craved that sort of thing. They wanted it. So my jokes for the live show may have even been turned up a notch in terms of the content and what I was talking about and the chances I was willing to take. Unless, of course, I see someone's phone during the show and I see that, then it shut down, because the opposite happened in the yes. If that happens,
this is what happens.
Nope,
this will happen on the podcast, and then I have to bring my rants back in. I have to reel myself back in. It's terrible.
Exactly.
Man, I got to thank you so much for coming on the show. This was so much fun. Like, I feel like we could talk for hours. You know, this has been a blast.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny because, like you said, we were like, oh, it's going to be light. It's going to be hanging. And then we got into, like, social justice and, like, socioeconomic, like, some heavy shit. So I got to come back where we just talk about, like, top 5 low blows in wrestling history, or some weird thing.
Okay, no, okay, wait.
Thank you, Brad.
Before we go,
Thank you, Brad.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I need to get your opinion on this. I said this before we had you on. I was like, I gotta ask him what he thinks. Are you a fight fan? Do you watch like UFC or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have an idea for, like, this would probably have to be a different company than the UFC. Combat sports, an MMA rule, and I want you to honestly tell me what you think. I think you should be allowed 1 defensive low blow per fight. And let me just set the scene here, right? You're in a fight, you get clipped, you're on the verge of getting knocked out. Your opponent swarms in to try to finish you off. You get to kick him in the balls 1 time, and then the fight stops. Everybody gets a 5-minute break, and then that's it. You cannot use it as an offensive move. Like, you can't clip a guy and then run in and kick him in the balls and then try to finish it. No, it has to be a defensive move where you are on the verge of getting knocked out, or you're in some serious trouble, and you can hit the guy in the nuts, and you get a 5-minute break. What do you think of this rule? Does it work?
If I was a fighter, I would say, oh, hell no. As a fan, I go, absolutely. That would be awesome. Just for the memes, like, just for the memes, just for the clips. I mean, I'm 37. Some of my friends are literally some of the funniest people in the world, and I still laugh at a good nut shot. Like, there's just something about it that will always.
Just imagine a fighter. He catches a guy, right? He clips him with a good shot, and then the guy starts retreating, and then he starts trying to, like, swarm in, but he's like,
he's got to protect himself.
he's like covering his nuts. He's like.
I just like imagining how it would change people's fight styles, because, like, your instincts, it's like, all right, we're gonna do fall back nut shot training, like fall back, like roll your eyes and then throw a foot up, because we're trying to aim for the exactly, we're trying to aim for approximately for the nuts here.
Like, you would just see nonstop clips of, like, when Anthony Davis the other night kicked Jay Crowder in the balls. like just the jump shot, and then like almost like a spring action GI Joe, just boom. It's like it was like those would be so awesome. I fully support this idea. I'm glad that's where you were going with it. I thought you were going to be like, all right, Brad, this might be offensive, but dwarf MMA. What are your thoughts? Like, which by the way, I'm really into that too. If we want to throw me and Swoggle in the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese and let us go, okay, let's go.
My money's on you. Yeah, my money's on you. You seem faster, more agile. I think you'd take the fight to him and finish him in under 2 rounds.
We're gonna talk to Tony about that. He doesn't return my calls anymore, but we'll talk to Tony about it. But honestly, though, we'd love to have you back on this show. Like, we know you're a busy guy, but like, if you got the time, we'd love to have you back on.
Hey, absolutely. Every week on Fridays and Saturdays, I'm sitting in a hotel room in some city, and sometimes I want to go out and experience the city. Sometimes I want to sit back and hear about Nutshot UFC. So anytime you want me back, I am 100% game.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, guys.
This episode of Wrestling with the Week is brought to you by Honey, and these days it feels like online shopping is the only shopping we really do. That's where today's sponsor, Honey, comes into play. It is the free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes and automatically tests them when you're checking out. Honey is basically your online shopping best friend. Here's how it works. You get Honey on your computer for free, 2 easy clicks. Then, when you're checking out on one of its over 30,000 supported sites, Honey pops up and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. You just wait a few seconds. Honey scours the internet for coupons for that site, and if Honey finds one that works, it'll apply the best one to your cart. Honey has found its over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings, and supports all kinds of retailers, from tech and gaming sites to fashion brands, even food delivery. It's simple. If you have a computer, Honey should be on it. It's free and works with whatever browser you use. You can get Honey for free today at joinhoney.com/week. That's joinhoney.com/WEEK. So they know we sent you. Give it a try and see how much you'll save today. Thank you to Honey for supporting today's episode. Thank you so much to Brad Williams for that amazing interview. And please check out the full interview on the audio version of this podcast. We go into other stuff. We talk about how it is doing comedy just in general in a post-2020 world. That's like everything from the social implications to, COVID and stuff like that. It's a really, really interesting conversation, and we'd love to have him back.
That was honestly one of my favorite interviews. He was so fun to talk to, and where the conversation went was just so refreshing, and some of it was serious, but a lot of it was fun and very, very interesting. So please, everyone, go check that out, and we got to get him on the show again. Love it.
Yeah, we absolutely. Speaking of coming on the show again, Eric, I believe it's time for a brand new game. You cooked up a brand new game for us.
Guys,
is this true?
I've been in the kitchen. I've been cooking.
Okay, great. Look at that big old pot.
Straight out your mama's kitchen.
That's what's up.
There it is.
That's right. I'm the red velvet of this podcast. Guys, I have a new game just for you, and we call it What It E, baby! And we nailed it. Fantastic.
Nice job.
Yeah, see, this guy isn't the only one who can do that. I can hold a note. I'm exhausted now. My lung capacity. Jesus. Guys, here's the thing. I'm an eBay. I'm a thrifty little eBay man. I go on eBay and I'm searching and I'm scrimping and I'm saving and I'm going around. There's all kinds of things that I want to buy. Unfortunately, people have bought up all the stuff that I want before. So what I need you to do, I'm going to show you an image. I'm going to let you know what this thing is. And you are going to tell me, without going over, how much people paid for these items. Are you guys ready to play What It E, baby? You tell me.
I felt ready.
Yeah, okay. I'm as ready as I'll ever. I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Guys, this first image. This is a Dorito shaped like the Pope's hat.
Okay.
You tell me. This is what I've been trying to buy, and somebody came in and snatched it up.
This is the same Dorito, huh? It's got a lot more seasoning on one side than the other.
On the one side, there's a lot of Dorito seasoning. And then on the other side, I mean, that's the inside, because a hat you kind of put on, you know what I mean? And you don't want to get the Dorito all over your Pope head. So You tell me, how much did people pay for this? I'm not giving you a range. I want you to guess at it.
You got to eat that side with all the seasoning on it.
I agree, 100%.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll go. I could go first on this one, and then Sky goes first on the next one, so that way it's fair.
I love it.
Okay, so my first reaction was you showed the image, and I went, "That's a Dorito look like the Pope hat." So this isn't. We're not messing around. This isn't like Jesus' face showing up in a piece of wood, and I'm like, "Where?" Like this is actually a Pope's hat Dorito. So correct. I think its accuracy. I do think it deserves some credit for looking exactly like that. Right. I'm going to say, for something like this, I'm going to say $75.
$75. Remember, it's closest without going over $75.
And I don't think I did.
Sky.
I am going to be a little bit more on the conservative side, and I'm going to say $25.
$75 and $25.
The Pope's guy. This is the Pope.
This is the Pope.
One of the most beloved people in all the world.
Listen, how are they going to ship this? Like, is it broken when it gets there?
What are you going to do when you get it?
How do you ship a chip? One chip.
You have to put some stuffing in the center to make sure that it doesn't collapse on itself, and then stuffing around the side. Yep. I don't know. I
really want to know if it got there safely. What's the answer?
Guys, the price on the Dorito shaped like a Pope's hat is $1,209.
I knew I was being too low.
$209.
People have too much money. People have way too much money.
It's true.
I hope this chip was shattered when it got to that person.
No!
Oh, no.
My Pope hat Dorito! Well, guys, that's the first item. I've got two more lined up for you.
Now, but this is a calibration. This is a calibration.
Correct.
We've seen this first one. We're like, okay, that one was $1,200 or whatever.
Okay. Now, are you ready for this next one? This next image, you're not going to know what it is just by looking at it.
Ugh.
Well, maybe you will.
Gross.
It's Mr. Perfect's gum.
No.
Mr. Perfect's chewing gum.
You are close. This is Britney Spears chewed gum from a concert, I believe at the O2 Arena. This is chewed gum from Britney Spears that sold on, I don't know what the E stands for in eBay, on eBay. So how much? Electronic Bay. How much did somebody pay for Britney Spears chewed bubblegum?
Can I ask a question real quick?
Absolutely.
When do we have a sold date? Because I feel like the going price for this today would be different than in, say, 1999.
Well, this is when she was touring. So this was at a time when she was selling out arenas, and this is from England. So, but these I converted it to US dollars.
Okay,
I am going $20,000.
Wow, $20,000, James.
Because you could clone her. That's good thinking. Because basically you can get a clone. I think 20,000 is a little high.
Yep.
I'm gonna drop it down. I'm gonna say $13,000.
$13,000.
Yeah.
From James.
Yeah.
The actual retail price on Britney Spears chewed gum, $14,000.
Oh my God.
James is on a roll.
Wow.
James is 2-0. So
it's because I bought both of them. I have them both over there. You can't see it.
I will say that the money was returned. This could not be sold because Britney Spears' DNA was in it, and you cannot sell something like that on eBay. Can you believe that? I didn't know that until I tried to buy this gum. So
interesting. Very interesting.
Yep, there you go.
All right.
Guys, final image. Guys, cards are hot right now. But you tell me how much this sold for. The 1997-98 Metal Universe PMG Green Michael Jordan card. This is a Michael Jordan trading card that is metal from 1997-98. That's hot. That's hot Jordan times, baby.
This is real hot.
Yep.
Now, here's what I don't know, because I don't know trading cards. There may be a million of these. There may be a
Right.
million of these, and you just don't realize
10
that if this is like one of a kind.
total
Mint,
copies.
It's been authenticated.
10
Okay,
total copies of the Michael Jordan Precious Metal
10 of
Gems green card.
And this looks
All right,
like it's
James,
in good
you're
condition.
up first.
Yeah, you got it.
All right.
You tell me.
I'm gonna say $105,000.
$105,000 is the guess from James. Sky, what do you think?
I am going to go $65,000.
$65,000.
Mm.
Well, your frugal ways have done you in, Sky. The actual price for this is $350,100.
Holy cow.
Oh
Over
my God.
$100,000 was reached on this bid in an hour. In 1 hour, it was over $100,000.
Wow.
Wow.
Guys, that's all the stuff I'm looking to buy.
I feel like
Mhm.
I can sell a Scorpio Sky card with $100,000 in it in the case, and it won't sell for that much more than $100,000. It'd be like, yeah, I'll give you 105. I'll give you $100,000 and $2.
Yeah. It comes with the keys to a Ferrari.
Oh, man.
The $2 covers the shipping.
Wow.
Oh, shit, man. Well, hey, look, guys, that's how we play What Did eBay Be? And that's all the stuff I've been looking to buy. So hopefully we can get some
Great
more.
stuff.
If you like that
Great
game, let us
stuff.
know. Tweet at us, etc.
That was-
But
That was-
James
yeah, that was
wins.
a lot of fun.
Congratulations,
That was a lot of
James.
fun. You killed it, James. You killed it, James.
I just want to point out that even though I won, I wasn't remotely close on like the two. I mean, like the difference. If we actually did like the difference in amount, like Sky and I were barely like $5 apart on how far
Except,
off we were.
that $13,000 to $14,000.
Oh, right,
I mean, that
yeah.
was like spot on. But anyway,
That's because that's the one that's the bid that I put in for the gum, and just I knew I'd barely lost it. So
I'm going to give you an opportunity to give a victory speech, or talk about whatever you want. So it is that time of the show. I don't need to build it up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a clock on the screen. Let's cue it up for 15 seconds with James. James, tell us what's going on.
I'm gonna wait for that clock. There it is. So, as you know, I started wrestling practice, but what I really want to talk about is episode 9 of Cruel Summer. We saw some major revelations come from this freeform television show. Jeanette, did she see Kate? I don't know. Oh.
And that's all the time we have. Sorry, Jeanette and Kate. Hopefully you did see each other. We got to get to the finish. James, this has been a great show. Before we do that, we just want to once again let everybody know, as we always do, follow us on social media. That is Twitter and Instagram, WWTWPOD. That is Wrestling with the Week Pod. And if you want to follow us individually, I am at Scorpio Sky on Twitter and Instagram, James Willems on Twitter and Instagram as well. And at that point, now we are going to bring Eric back. It is finish
never
time.
left.
Guys,
never left.
let's go to the finish. Here's the thing. We talked about him earlier. I had to get the picture. Das Wunderkind. Alex Wright posted a picture about 6 hours ago as of this recording, showing that he is 295 pounds. So, for the finish, in one word, I want your reaction to Alex Wright, former WCW Cruiserweight champion, and I probably television champion.
Yep.
So there you go. All right, guys, here's the image. Sky, you give me your first thoughts, and then James, you go ahead.
Whoo, okay. Das Uberkid is his new name. He's huge.
James, what do you think of Alex Wright in this picture?
All I see is muscle.
Love it. Love it. And that's
Wow.
guys,
Jeez.
absolutely
He looks like Brock Lesnar.
Jacked to the gills. Look at him.
Holy cow.
Man. He looks like that guy what was it, Nathan Jones?
Yeah,
back in the day?
Nathan Jones.
Nathan Jones likes cupcakes.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's the finish. You take it home.
Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next week. Yeah, that's done.
bottom to the top, gotta push through it all. You the one, do it all. You the one, do it all.